I'm Maya.day, and this is a day in the life of real estate. It's a wintry day in Edmonton, and I'm here with Steve Keith. He's the owner and main inspector at Construction Consulting and Inspections Incorporated. And we're going to be here looking at this house to discuss water management and snow management with the amount of snow we've had in the Edmonton area. So Steve, what do we have to worry about now that the snow is starting to melt?
Well, as we can see, the main thing we have to worry about is what we're dealing with right below us, and that's ice. The ice builds up because the water is melting, and it really has no place to go because of the amount of snow. So the accumulation of snow is a big factor when we want to deal with that specifically. One item of contention right now is the downspouts. If you want to have a look at the downspout over there, it's hooked up to the eaves, which is trying to do its job, but then it's buried in the snow. The amount of snow makes it difficult for the water to go through. So we want to make sure they are free and clear. We like the fact that we have a long extension on the downspout, and we'll come up here and have a look. The downspout does have a long extension, which is great because we want to keep the water away from the house. The optimum distance is anywhere from 3 to 5 feet away. If we can extend it past the grade, which is the level of ground away from the house, an extra 5 or 10 feet, then that's an added plus. But we have to keep the ends clear so that the water flows. Here in the Edmonton area, obviously our temperature does vary in extreme conditions, so when we do have a melt, then we want to make sure that water can flow and flow away. Okay, another aspect we want to look at is the roof. We have a large accumulation of snow on the top corner of this house, and then what will happen is as we get warmer temperatures, the snow will let go and it will fall down, and it could obviously hurt someone as well too. So the reason why a lot of people do try to remove snow from the roof, number one obviously is the fact of the apparent danger we're going to have with the excess, but as well for a loading on the roof itself. We want to make sure that we keep the weight down to a minimum, so we're removing it for that. And another good example, we'll sort of pan over to the house next door, is ice buildup.
Yeah, I noticed there's a lot of ice on that roof.
Yeah, and that is normally caused by the accumulation, the weather change, and obviously a little bit of temperature variation in the roof itself. The warm air from the house is sifting through the top of the ceiling and going up into the roof structure and melting that snow and causing ice. So it's another good reason to keep the snow away from the edge of the roof, to keep that buildup away. So when we do get a little bit of temperature variance and we have some heat that's leaking through the house and going up into the roof, it won't be able to turn into ice because we have the majority of that snow removed. Okay, let's have a look along the sidewalk here. Drainage is important too, so if we have a positive grade, the ice can melt and the snow can move away as well too. Okay.
Steve, should people be worried about picking away this ice, or should they let it thaw on its own when it's built up like this?
Depending on the accumulation, this isn't bad. We could still hit this with an ice melt, a kitty litter or some sand to keep it down, and Mother Nature will basically take it away. We do worry about a little bit of accumulation over here by this window, down below at the basement window. We like to keep the snow away from that as much as possible. As we can see, and I'll sort of try to point out a couple things, we have an area along here that we could get water penetration, and some holes as well in the frame, whether they're PVC or wood, some cracks sometimes in the caulking where we can get accumulation of water starting to go in. So if we remove the snow a little bit away from the window wells, we'll decrease the risk of water and moisture penetration through the windows as well. So that's very important too. Okay, we were talking about snow buildup around the house. As we saw around this house here, we had a large buildup of snow around the steps, and we want to keep it away from the windows and the window wells as well. Keep it away from our downspouts. But this is an issue as well that we have to bear in mind for newer houses today too as well. If we want to pan over and look at a new house, we will see a lot of times what's quite common now is they will discharge the exhaust and intake from a furnace and hot water tank through the side of the house. So we want to make sure we keep the snow away from that. If we don't, it will exhaust into the pile of snow, and it could choke and clog up our heating system and will cause our hot water tank and furnace to shut down. So very important when we have side exhaust to keep that free and clear of snow as well. Okay?
Well, thanks very much, Steve. This is very, very helpful and very, very timely for us. Steve, if you are looking for a home inspector, remember Steve and Keep with Construction Consulting and Inspections Incorporated. And remember, if you're also looking to buy or sell a home in the greater Edmonton area, see what a difference a day makes. Until next time, I'm Maya.day.